But I got a question for you because you speak a lot about hip hop, and I believe you're a fan of killers. So I want to ask, are you a fan of the art as far as hip hop, or are you really a fan of serial killers? Because to me, it seems like it went from hip hop and now this infatuation with the killers. Now,
Yeah.
let's be honest, the world loves killers. We all love killers. I don't care. You could put the richest people in the room, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, anybody. If a killer walks in that room, he's now the center of attention.
Yeah.
Because it's to kill someone is like taboo.
Yeah.
And most people actually dream about doing it. I believe most people fantasize
Is it
about
love,
doing
though?
it, what it feels like to
Yeah.
kill somebody. So to know someone had the heart to do it is, we almost fall in love with it, especially because we program through videos, video games, action movies. We love killers.
We are captivated by killers. Love is like, yo, we love like what they do, which is right. I don't think we love what they do.
You love what they do, because if they didn't do what they do, you wouldn't be getting the bankroll you getting.
That's a fact. You wouldn't be Flacco. He wouldn't be Trap Lord Ross, 1.7 million subscribers if it wasn't for killers.
Wait, sorry. He actually loves them because he got a King Von tattooed on him.
I was gonna get to that. That's a little crazy. That's another level of fanned out.
So he might love him. I don't.
That's a little crazy. So, are you really captivated and do you love serial killers? Because I feel like that's where it went from hip hop to they really catching bodies, and that's where your focus is at right now.
So let me go back to the start to answer that question, because when I first started out doing the hip hop stuff that was taking off, I was covering a lot of like hip hop beefs, but it wasn't necessarily violence. Like one of the first viral videos I had was about the Rick Ross 50 Cent beef, right? And that was more about like two rappers that didn't get along, kind of cracking jokes at each other, 50's taking out Rick's baby mama shopping and all this kind of stuff. That was one of my first viral videos. And that was more of like a rap beef. But I'll just keep it real. I would say my career has followed along with the overall hip hop game, because I feel like in that time, when I first started doing hip hop videos about the history of like rap beefs and stuff like that, I don't think the murder music was as popular as it is now. Like that, we're talking probably like late 2018 going into 2019 that I was doing that kind of story. I think it was that 2019, 2020 when the drill music kind of really had a resurgence, when you had a guy like King Von come back. You had a lot of like street rappers, drill music talking about real crimes on wax that you could actually go and look up. And I think that the murder music became extra popular over the last like maybe 3-4 years. And I think I kind of adapted as far as like, these were the stories that people wanted to know about. People wanted to know about DaBaby killing a guy at Walmart. That was a huge story. So that was like one of my first stories that I did that was kind of about the sort of violent side of hip hop. It wasn't a gang story, but it was like, yo, DaBaby was at Walmart and he got pressed and he pulled a gun and he shot someone and he beat the case. And that again, that was one of the first crime. It was almost like a mesh between like a hip hop documentary and a crime documentary about DaBaby and his situation. And then obviously like within maybe 6 months of that, that's when King Von really burst onto the scene in like summer of 2019. I did a couple videos about Von way back when he was alive, right? And that was like one of the early times. I wasn't the first person to do it. There were other people like Trap Geek doing documentaries about Von, basically saying, yo, this guy says he's killing people in his songs. And I think he actually is. Like we looked up, he's his case from 2017. He beat the case, but these are the facts of it. And I think that like in that time, like the murder music and the idea of like rappers that are really killing people, I think that really took off. Not to say that there weren't rappers that didn't kill people before that, but it was like that period when drill music just became all about, yo, who's got bodies? That kind of like, I feel like that kind of changed the game. And I feel like I was part of that wave. I wouldn't say that I love killers. I always try and put a respectful tone in my stories to say things like, this isn't okay. The violence has to stop. But on the flip side, I also like to say like King Von, his father was killed by a sniper when he was 11. Like he's been through some crazy situations. He's been around death and violence his whole life. I'm not giving him a pass for the people he allegedly killed, but like he comes from one of the most, tough environments that you could imagine. He's been put in kill or be killed situations. I guess you could say he got good at killing, and he seemingly did it a lot. But it's like for me, my passion and my obsession is just like whatever the popular music is at the time, like really helping people understand it. I think unfortunately, just in the last few years, the music's gotten very violent, and it's gotten about who's got bodies and who's beat a body. And I think it's like I'm kind of part of, I would say, like a bigger trend that's quite dark in the hip hop community. But I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with killing, but I do love drill music. I like the energy of drill music. I feel like drill music gives you a window into a world which is not really getting reported on, Like the types of stories that you hear in drill music, they're not really getting reported on by mainstream media, or they weren't back when this scene kind of started to blow up a little bit more. and like more drill rappers were becoming mainstream artists. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Do you think the videos you make the younger crowd more fascinated? It makes them to a point where they feel like now they have to live up to these other people that you do documentaries on?
I personally I wouldn't say that that's true. I would personally say that, like, if I'm completely honest, I feel like if there's one thing that makes the killing look cool, it is the music. Like Von makes killing someone look cool. I feel like my documentary about Von, it tells you the story, it tells you who killed who and what happened and where everyone came from, where everyone ended up. But I always try and end my stories with like a responsible tone to say like, yo, this isn't cool. I'm not condoning this activity. The streets, can only end one of two ways. This isn't something that you should be getting involved in. I think if you contrast that with Von's music, and I love Von's music, but he makes murdering people seem cool and fun and like lit because it's a song, it's aggressive. Von doesn't end his songs by saying, "Yo, by the way, murdering's bad. We shouldn't do that." But I try and put that in my videos. So what I'm trying to do is take this very violent, dark energy that's in drill music right now, explain what it's all about, and then give a responsible take to say like, "Yo, this isn't what we should be aspiring to be doing, but this is what's going on."